Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have an EU Grand Campaign event for you. The first map here is Pry Grist Mill, followed up by High Street. You're seeing an overview of both of those maps right now. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you get live streams of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos and get raw gameplay footage of all the events we do with no commentary and UI. So with that being said, our teams for today, on the Confederate side for round 1, USA round 2, you got Iron Brigade, Hood's Division, Hampton's Legion, Jackson's Division, 17th Michigan, and the Free States Brigade. Whereas on the Union side for round 1, CSA round 2, you got Colquitt's, 9th Corps, 42nd PA, 30th Ohio, 1st Delaware, and the 12th Virginia. So my mic and laptop was just having problems in general, so we're a little ways late into this match. However, co-commentating with me today, we got Bones. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Match throughout the technical difficulties, so I'd be glad to update.
Yeah, could you say that again? Speaking of that, there was another issue there. Could you briefly say that again? My bad.
Gee. Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, like I said, hey Eagle, glad to be here. I'm First Sergeant Bones from the 15th Wisconsin, proud to represent. And yeah, throughout the technical difficulties, I've been spectating, so I can give a brief update if need be on what's happened so far on this Progress Mill map.
Yeah, so please, what has happened up for about the past 20 or so minutes in the round?
Right, so right at the beginning, CSA kind of spread themselves out, you know, just ready to move when need be on their side of the bank. And Union, if you're facing Union spawn, they took a far left position. They traded fire for a while. Union, unfortunately, was losing tickets faster than the CSA, and so they charged left side across the riverbank. They did manage to push CSA back and get a foothold on the far left far left bank on the riverbed. They caught tickets up a little bit. It was looking better. However, CSA reformed themselves. They pushed them back across the river. Union pulled back, was suffering long-range casualties, reformed themselves, and now, as you can see, they pushed up on the far right side if you're facing Union spawn. And CSA is taking up a foothold to repel them.
Yeah, thank you for that overview there. So, looks like the sides from my introduction are flipped, so maybe they'll flip back for round 2. I got a lot of DMs. I got a DMs a lot of regarding how the switch sides works and whatnot, but I was dealing with the issue, so I unfortunately didn't keep track of that. But yeah, were you gonna say something, Bones?
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, it looks like 1st Delaware, 9th Corps, CQB, CB, and I believe HL are on the CSA side of the map today for the first round.
Yeah. So.
Maybe not HL, maybe 12th Virginia. I might have gotten confused.
So, Lucian from the 15th Wisconsin, who we got here, we got his frontline view. Uncle Dragon from 9th Corps also said to help, but obviously I was dealing with some issues, so they'll get up when they will get up. So appreciative to both of them as well. So, regardless, we're finally in.
Yeah, good. Looks like JD and HL are reforming themselves on the far left, trying to figure out what they want to do here.
And
while FSB, HD, 15th are all holding a further front, firing on the enemy. They got a whole bar to catch up on, so it's gonna be interesting to see how reserved they play. They could play reserved and try and get CSA into breaking. They might have time for it, but we'll see. I mean, already in taking losses, that's gotta be rough.
Yeah, Union's not in a great spot right now. And if we look at the server count, it's about 180. I mean, numbers are even right now, so.
Yeah. No arty on this map, so it's all infantry fighting the good fight down there by the riverbed. And a tough map, honestly. I would say it's slightly more tough for Union than CSA. Obviously, CSA is defending. And since they've moved the capture point to the middle of the map in the riverbed, I'd say it's gotten even harder.
Yeah, the last couple times I've watched Progress Mill has not been favorable to Union. Union, though, starting to push up the left side. HL leading that way. The 42nd and 30th are there to stop.
So I have seen Union win this map recently by taking the far left side like they are now in the early game. It may be too late for this strategy to work now, but in the early game, they took and held left side. And then they relied... Ooh, man, they are energetic down there right now. CSA is yelling, screaming, hooting and hollering. And then the cavalry took up inside the building and on the far right of the map. Just to deal ticket damage, right? They held a strong left anchor and had cavalry doing the ticket damage.
So,
and they managed to win in the end.
Yeah, Union's actually winning this, though. As more reinforcements kind of trickled in there, it looks like they've taken the ground there. A couple CSA groups kind of holding back.
Yeah, I don't know what CSA on the far left is doing right now. It looks like 12th VA is shooting, and 1st Delaware is firing across the river at nobody, including 9th Corps. It seems like all of Union has moved to the far left, so I think there might be a lack of information coming from the CSA leadership right now.
It could be, and you can't let the attacking team get across the river here, especially with the fast flag respawns. So.
Well, I stand corrected. FSB and HD are still holding across the bank, so I suppose that's who they're shooting at. But they have no officers, no flags. I really don't think this is the target right now.
Why? I wonder why FSB and HD are still on that side of the river.
Yeah, I think it'd be a unified push. Perhaps they want to save them in reserve for a point push at some point.
Yeah, but you gotta knock them down a whole morale stage before you even consider trying to cap.
Yeah, I think if they were going to move across the river, they should probably stay in a large bundle. I mean, if you're going to lose tickets, at least deal as much damage as you can, you know?
Exactly.
But at the same time, perhaps they've left those men there to keep the other CSA regiments on the far left, which appears to be working.
So, Union hit breaking. 15th Wisconsin kind of moving across the front side here.
Playing aggressive.
Kind of hiding
as they do
in this little I don't know what you want to call it, but CSA appears to be charging, trying to push them out now. Oh my goodness.
Is it a full CSA unified front? It seems like 1st Delaware still holding in the woods, trading fire across the river.
Union held that charge pretty good.
And, yeah, it looks like they're trying to hold the stone encampment here, which is a really good spot for them if they can hold it.
Yeah, not all the CSA went in there, and Union kind of held that, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, it looks like a good portion of CQB had held back, and it looks like
42nd,
part of 42nd PA is pulling back.
No, they're running up, taking shots, and then falling back.
Oh, okay. What do you do here?
The CSA?
I mean, it's a little bit, CSA. I mean, it's a little bit late game for Union to push a hold like this, but I think it's going to work in their favor.
I mean, yeah, this match is going way in Union's favor. CSA's best bet, they have a lot of tickets to burn. So they could either sit back fully, or they, as a team, got to charge in to try to push the Union out of their side of the river. Either option, I think, is fine, but doing these half charges is not going to work.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially with Union inside the building, on the far left side of the building. I mean, they now have the solid cover to fight against the CSA's close spawn. Should they come in with another volley, let's see how effective this is. I mean, this defilade right here by the left side of the house is just a really good place for Union to be.
A good couple of those Union guys are not defilated enough. I do think, kind of back to what I was saying a moment ago, I think on a smaller pop server, like, because if it's 300, 350, I think CSA should try to maybe push Union out, because I think in the higher pop servers that I've seen at Progress Mill, defenders can easily push out the attackers generally. Especially because defenders can come at multiple angles and the attackers are just all blobbed up. But on a smaller server where each death is worth more tickets, it's probably best just to sit back. Granted, I haven't seen the whole match, and I don't know how well CSA like pushed Union out and everything, but
the CSA did well in the beginning. I would definitely say Union did not have the advantage for the first half of the game, but getting this hold on the far left, which might have been their plan from the beginning with focusing on the right, is a good move for them. What I'm curious now is I'm curious if CSA is just going to, I would think, and granted I haven't led a lot of battles, I've been in a lot of battles, I haven't led a lot of battles, I would think the CSA would pull to the left side of Forest if you're facing Union spawn, the left side of Forest, and just let them come to them for a point cap.
I mean, I would say...
I mean, they are holding back.
They are.
So, I mean,
I think
yeah,
they
they are holding back. I just think I would position myself in a better spot to counter a point charge.
Yeah, like where 12th VA up is at, that's a little far forward. First Delaware is okay. I mean, 9th Corps is in an okay spot, but... Because, I mean, obviously Union doesn't know this, but Union could probably sweep up 12th VA right now if they wanted to.
Oh, I think they could sweep up 12th VA and 9th Corps,
Definitely.
but if their communications are solid enough, then CQB and 42nd PA, the big sticks of the CSA Army right now would come in behind them and probably wipe them out. Looks like there's some movement. Looks like 15th is going in for that stone encampment again.
Yeah, they're going right up where 12th
About
VA
to attack
is.
that 12th VA, just like he said, yeah.
Yeah, Lucian running up there right now, trying to see his little...
I'm curious
spots.
why this isn't the cavalry doing this right now. I believe there's cavalry on Company A for Union.
Yeah, JD has it. They're inside the house, I think. Yeah, they're inside the house.
Okay, so that does make sense, but at the same time, if I was going to put a small unit on point, I'd probably send in the cavalry first.
Right. So, Mr. Chunky from the 12th VA, the last man here. He looks AFK.
Oh yeah, there he is. And they haven't seen him. Oh, he's moving a little bit.
Oh. Oh.
I don't think he knows where he is. I don't think he knows what's
Lucian.
going on right now.
Oh, Lucian died.
Yeah, Lucian got shot before he could see him.
Chunky gets a kill. Jerry, get him. Jerry got him.
Yeah, Jerry took him out. Good job, Jerry. And that right there is why we drill. That's why we practice. we make those single shots count.
So
Looks like
CQB's going to
HL
left?
on the far left.
Oh yeah,
Looks like
I'm
HL on
talking
the far
CSA
left is doing some pop-up volleys.
Yeah, Union left. HL's doing that. So
It looks like, yeah, it looks like they're starting to stir up that left side of point. Yeah, CQB's going far left now. I think I'm worried that might be a little bit too far. I'm not sure what they plan to. I mean, maybe if they're just reserving tickets, I could see that
That's
being an
best
effective
guess.
place to be.
that's my best guess.
Yeah. Looks like they're planning for possibly a multi-position charge if they do go on point. But with how spread out they are right now on the CSA team, I'm worried that they'll trickle. You know.
Yeah. Communication's gonna have to be key.
Because I mean, 42nd PA has got 2 fences to jump over and a good amount of wood
Yeah,
before they would get to their allies.
they're a little ways away.
But at the same time, it would take Union probably a considerable moment to get everybody out of that house
I'll take his spot.
and onto point if they were to charge. So really, yeah, I think it just boils down to the team's communications here.
So for now,
And we-
Union just seems content with sitting back and shooting, getting the CSA down to
There we go.
breaking, and
yeah.
then probably rush in and cap the point.
I think that's going to be the deciding moment, yeah. I think both teams are just waiting. They know they're going to get into breaking at some point, but they also know that if they charge in willy-nilly to try and break Union's hold on this corner, they're gonna find themselves in breaking a lot sooner than they would naturally.
Not past the barrels, boys. Don't go past the barrels.
It looks like HD has taken over where 15th Wisconsin was by the building. I'm curious where 15th Wisconsin went.
Taking some shots. You got more CSA movement. 12th VA is kind of shifting left over to where CQB
Okay.
and 9th Corps are. More 9th Corps than anything, but
Surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, 15th Wisconsin has gone back across the river. I think Union is positioning themselves to cap point as quickly as possible when that breaking occurs.
I wonder if they're going to try to start pre-capping.
That could be a plan, yeah. 42nd PA has brought themselves a little bit more to the left, but farther back. It looks like they're starting to move up now. I think 42nd PA is going to try and flank the Union team when they cross in front of house. Which it looks like they're doing right now.
Some Union moving through the woods right now. HL.
Taking a more aggressive stance. Not so reserved now, but I'm worried it might not work out for them.
42nd got a good chunk of kills on HL, but all those HL guys bunched up in one spot, and it made it real easy.
Yeah, you gotta remember to keep your spread when you move locations. A lot of time people get tunnel vision on the star when they press T, and so they all fall behind the star and they end up bunching up. So you really gotta make sure you keep that spread. HL is pulled back behind the house, possibly reforming, preparing for this move.
Yeah, because
I
a lot of groups, I mean, just it's general. Everyone aims towards the center of the line, and
That's another big problem. Yeah, if your officer's leading in the middle and everybody shoots towards the center, it's just gonna be a
You
wipe.
guys look all purdy in your uniforms.
so CSA almost at breaking. Union's caught up a good chunk on tickets.
I gotta say the CSA ticket bar has not gone down much in the past couple of minutes. If Union takes too long here, I think they're gonna risk not having enough time for a second chance at this if they fail the first cap.
I mean, Union will get two good chances at least, I would say.
Yeah. Because I mean, at the current tickets, if they move in for point cap at CSA breaking, they will probably go into what's the attackers last? Is it last stand or final push?
Final push.
Final push for attackers, right? Yeah.
They're capping. Somebody's capping. 15th Wisconsin is.
Yep, they're doing an early cap. They might be trying to. They could be trying to actually cap and buy time.
Well, if they cap, that'd be a risky game because when they cap the point, the rules flip. The attackers become defenders, defenders attackers, right?
Right.
The Union would become defenders. They could at last stand. CSA could recap and win.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is Union has such a strong position right now that they might be. Oh no, I look like they are occasionally pre-capping. I think that's what they're playing. They're pulling back now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Union holds a strong enough position on that house and on the other side of the bank, they could cap and hold. But I think it's too late in the game to make that decision. The CSA ticket loss is going down so slowly. I don't know. The Union's going to have to do something.
We probably got a minute. I mean, I think they got time because what if they get close to or hit final push next time? I mean, unless they wait till like the 4-minute mark to charge, because
Right.
final push is only going to be 3.5 minutes. So I mean, Union's got a couple minutes to spare.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very short once they get into final push. Well, they're taking a more aggressive position now. In front of the house, trying to get that ticket down, looks like, for the CSA ticket bar. Get them into breaking.
Triple quick.
It's the key. It's the key right now if they want to win this round.
Yeah, it's
First
HL.
Delaware facing HL on the right.
CSA appear to be moving on point right now. HL's charging in.
Get him, boys. Get him. What's up?
42nd PA looks like they're moving up to support. This could be the push off that they're trying to do. Oh yeah, HL pushed in by themselves. Looks like. I think the plan here is for HL to get them into breaking while the rest of us
Yeah.
recap.
I mean, HL definitely did that. Union charging
Yep,
across
they
the
did it.
Figrous Mill.
This is it. They can hold here.
CSA now counter charging in. Point
Here
still
it
in
comes.
Union's favor.
And this is where I mentioned earlier if 42nd PA makes it in time. It looks like they started running in when HL charged, so I think they've made it in time. Yeah, 42nd PA is here. But it looks like Union's holding.
A lot of CSA just kind of sitting back. I don't know if that's main respawns, but it's like a good chunk of CSA groups are just kind of holding in. Union
are.
final push.
They are trickling. The CSA is trickling right now, and that's what I was concerned about.
It's probably flag response. I mean,
Hold the line, boys. Hold the line.
it looks like Union might just win this.
I think they will. Well, I don't understand how they could be trickling from flags when the only small detachment HL was the one, or HL charged. It was either 1st Delaware or 12th VA, and the rest of the CSA was free to stop this from happening. But by the end, it looked like it was a trickle. So it could just be cavalry kills. I think cavalry might have
That could
helped
be a
at
big
the
thing
end.
as well. But anyways, any quick thoughts for this first round, Bones? Any more?
I don't like I said earlier for the Union side. I don't know if the right side was a plan just to get them loosey goose for a left side push in the early game, but they did lose a lot of tickets. As you can see in this recap here on right side, they lost a lot of tickets there. They tried to hold it. there wasn't much they could do with it. CSA kind of pounced them, pushed them back across the river. They had to recover. They lost a lot of time due to that, and then they pushed the far left and held. And honestly, I think CSA could have done a lot better job of keeping that left from the left side. If you're facing CSA spawn, apologies. If you're facing CSA spawn, the left side, if CSA could have held that better, I think that would have been beneficial for them. I think the game could have gone differently for either side if they considered what side they were fighting for. I mean, like I said, in the middle of the game, there was a couple of CSA flag and spawn companies still fighting over the riverbank, even though the only Union detachments on the other side were just a couple of handful, FSB and another small group. I think it was, I can't remember what they were called, NWB, I believe.
Well, thank you for that. With that being said, we'll see you for the next round. All right, here we are for round number 2 right now. So it's Piper Farm. Screwed that up in the beginning intro. So that is why it is like that. The text said the right map, but I was looking at the image. So anyways, here we go. We got Uncle Dragon on the top left with 9th Corps. And then again, Lucian's on the top right with the frontline reporter. Sorry for the technical difficulties for the first round. But anyways, round number 2, it looks like the slides did not switch. So there's that. Anyways, Bones, what would you say Union strategy should be for round number 1?
Well, this is going to be a little rough for Union. I mean, this is already a CSA biased map. Granted, I have seen a lot of Union upsets on this map. But like you mentioned to me before we got back into the recording, two of the Union's companies don't have officers. So not only is that one less pistol, but that's one less star in the sky for soldiers to follow. Could cause some issues. Most of the field, most of the map is open, so I don't think it will. But it looks like Union's going far right. If they're going for the artillery encampment, I think that'll work out in their favor. But they've got to dedicate. You can't. I don't think you can split the Union on this map and still have an overall good outcome. I've seen dedication to the far right, take the case on, hold that hill, and win the day. But I've also seen far left in the corn, take the orchard, dedication of the entire team and win the day. So I really, it just depends on Union commitment to one side or the other. Right now it looks like they've got a 3 company on the right, 1 company on the left.
Yeah, so numbers are balanced. Confederates have 6 on artillery. Union have 6 on artillery as well. Just as Bones mentioned, 2 of the Union companies, the 20th New York, they don't have their officers per a grand campaign effect on HD. But yeah, I would agree. If Union's going to want to win this map, they got to do it together. They can't split one half one side, one half another, because CSA's got pretty good defensive positions. Speaking of where CSA's at, you got 30th, 42nd, and it looks like 9th Corps is moving up kind of towards the Union position in front of their artillery. You got the rest of the CSA on the left side. Colquitt's and 12th VA. Union kind of splitting themselves up right now after kind of pulling back on this right side. 15th and JD on this right side. And the rest on the
42nd PA on the far right, engaging the 15th. They're taking a surprisingly far forward position on the snake fence. I don't think I've seen that in any recent games.
Do we just not know who Gene is?
I don't normally see the Union fight over the back row, but it looks like a portion of Union is linking up with the main Union group. Besides HB and NWB holding the far left, it looks like 15th moving towards the far right to join up with the other Union unit.
And so far, CSA is actually down on tickets. And Union's charging on the CSA left.
Yeah, it looks like I think they're pushing up road. I'm curious to see, maybe they're trying to take. Nah, I was gonna say maybe they're trying to take corner. I'm not even sure if that's inbound for them. The far corner down by the road. CSA moving to the moving to the crossroad, possibly get some down road shots on them. But it looks like Union's gonna meet them.
CSA. What is Crunch doing? He's just running right through the whole Union side, just grugging people. He ran through the. There he goes.
There's another company.
CSA kind of fell back a little or late right
Yeah,
there.
they are pulling back down the road, and Union is chasing them right after.
Union kind of caught CSA off guard. CSA fell back a little late, and that was a great chance. And you can see in the ticket mark, Union went up.
Yeah.
Who was charging from Union?
They're pulling back now. They're pulling back.
No,
So I was right. That is out of bounds for them. They can't go too far down the road.
there was one guy charging from HL, and he died pretty quickly.
Looks like Union's pulling back to reform, and probably, yeah, looks like they're going to take case on. Lucian leading the charge for the 15th towards the case on. Curious to see if the rest of the Union will follow them. Good arty shot. Good CSA arty shot on the stone wall. Looks like they got 2 or 3 people knocked down, about 4 or 5.
Oh, Lucian, you gotta hit that shot.
Yeah, see, this is my concern with a lot of the movement on this map is they've trickled in. But it looks like CSA hasn't done anything about it. It looks like CSA has sat back and let them take the case on. Curious to figure out why 2 of the CSA companies are still in the apple orchard.
Yeah.
I mean, well, besides the artillery, obviously the artillery needs to be there. But the 4th PA is now moving in towards the hay bale. I feel like if they had moved a more strategic position before Union had crossed the field, they could have possibly mitigated it. But it looks like Union on caissons are about to get flanked by 42nd and Delaware.
Maybe they're just kind of holding back to preserve tickets. You got more Union going up and over to the caissons. It's now HL's going that way, HD.
Yeah, I feel like Union should have moved up to the caissons sooner than what they are now. But we'll see how it plays out.
Get your kits on the caissons, boys. Get your kits.
So you have a good chunk of CSA kind of in the center. First Delaware and Colquitt's kind of using this little defilade here, the barn and rocks to their advantage.
And see, this right here is why I kind of prefer the left side focus and the right side focus, because once you put yourself up on the caisson hill, yes, you have solid cover from the caissons, but CSA has the opportunity to fire on you from multiple things. So you've got the corner, you've got the rocks, you've got the hay bale, you've got the orchard. I mean, you have solid cover, but you can only have solid cover from so many sides at once. And it looks like CSA is evening out the tickets slowly from this position.
Some CSA falling back. First Delaware pulling off the rocks. Colquitt's still kind of using that barn.
Who's that over there on the road? Curious. Stalkier tasking themselves with the long shot. They could be. I think they might be firing up road.
Yeah, you do have, who is it? FSB's kind of still on that road taking shots. They don't have a flag.
Yeah, they've got long distance. They've got solid cover. This is a good place for them to be if they don't have a flag.
Can kind of see, well, from Dragon's View what we got on the barn right now, but both sides kind of holding. At least CSA is trying to hold back, just preserve their tickets a little bit as they just kind of kill time. The tickets are kind of getting a little closer.
All 3 Union flags on the caissons. It looks like they're pretty much committing here. 15th now in the defilade a little bit, using the defilade a little bit to their advantage instead of fighting over the caisson. HL on the caisson. JD also on the caisson. Looks like JD is focusing. Looks like JD and HL are more focusing on the corner of the road than the people out by the hay bales, and then the barn for that matter. 42nd PA pulling back, looks like behind the barn, possibly reforming for a charge.
I don't think CSA would charge the Union out here. They don't seem in a good enough position to really do that. They're very spread out.
I'm honestly surprised that Union's holding the ticket advantage here, but at the same time, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. Maybe I'm talking too much trash. This was the strat I know this was the strat a good time ago. I remember year and a half ago, everyone played for the Kazon. It was a bloody fight over the Kazon. But that was back when you had the 10-second respawn, and CSA would actively try to charge Union off.
No, dude, we're still firing.
Well, with the
Gene, there are 2 flags down there
the
right
closer
now.
position. But I think that has changed. I think that has changed since many of the updates.
CSA kind of pushing off into the orchard. Cold quits 42nd, 30th. They're kind of pushing up.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. You've got the 2 flanks. I mean, the Kazons are nice. But when they have that 2 flank on you, you're going to lose tickets. I mean, there's still a good arty shot on the 15th by the CSA. A lot of bodies here, a lot of blood. At least in moving up. I'm curious to see if he's just scoping it out. Yeah, it looks like he's just scoping it out.
He's still kind of running around.
Doug and the CQB moving in on the hay bales. I don't know where the 42nd PA is gone. Oh, they've moved back into the orchard. So it looks like 42nd PA and
no,
CQB
Lucian.
at swap sides. Oh, and the Union's charging here. Possibly a pop-up volley.
It could have been, but CSA pushed in that spot in a really good time, and 15th kind of caught up in the open here. Confederates engaged.
They're holding their ground.
Come on, shoot him down. They're right there. Look at him.
Ooh, that's a lot of death for the 15th. Let's see if they can get that flag out of there. ATEL now moving in to support. Again, possibly it could have been done as a unified push up, doing more damage to CQB, but it looks like they've decided to come in one at a time.
They're in a, they need to fall back. That was a very crappy spot to hold. Maybe they were pushing up because they were trying to find the enemy, but what is the 17th Michigan doing? They're going on point. They're capping about 5, 6 of them, but they're all going to get shot.
Yeah, let's hope this is a pop-up volley. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they had the 17th Michigan
On the right.
do a bit of a flank on the arty once they draw out. If the main group could draw out 42nd PA and CQB, then they could possibly deal with the arty issue. Because those arty, I gotta admit, CSA arty is getting some good shots on our lads on the hill. I can't say I've seen much from the Union arty, have you?
I have not seen anything at all.
Keep it up, boys. Keep it up.
First Delaware pulling back in the corn. So yay. I'm curious if they're just doing if they're just trying to preserve tickets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really the only thing the CSA is doing. I mean, they're still kind of trying to keep up with the action a little bit because, I mean, if they completely fell back, Union would push up.
Right.
And speaking of pushing up, here comes JD.
Oh yeah, JD out of the woodwork. A good time too, because CQB just jumped over the wall. But I don't know if the JD numbers are going to be enough.
Definitely not. They're bringing the flag up. HL's
They're
pushing
bringing the
up.
flag. They better commit.
15th now pushing up.
Yep, this is the unified move that they need if they want to hold this corner, I suppose. I'm not sure. They might just be hunting for tickets at this point.
Union hit engaged.
Still with a ticket advantage. We'll see. I think CSA is going to lose a decent amount here.
Oh, what the?
9th Corps moving in with about 9 people for the flank. They're right behind Union. I don't know if anyone sees them. They're taking out flags. This could be bad for Union. Two Union flags down, and it doesn't look like they've realized that 9th Corps is flanked them from behind.
More CSA starting to push up alongside 9th Corps. It looks like they're going for the K signs. HL's turning around.
This could be a bad moment for the Union. They look like they've wiped CQB. And it looks like 42nd PA doesn't have any intention of pushing in to get those tickets back. 42nd PA just kind of holding back in the orchard. I'm curious.
Countercharge him, boys. Countercharge him. Where the hell you going?
Curious why they didn't move in to help CQB.
Union's a little confused right now. They could win this charge, but some are not going, some are going. I hear charge, but they're not going. It's
And it looks like another CSA unit. Let me get their name. 12 PA has moved up the road and taken the stone wall, and it looks like they don't intend on letting Union pull back here unless they go back towards their spawn. But I don't think it's gonna be an issue. It looks like Union held the caissons.
Indeed.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think the 42nd PA could have been the difference there.
We got him.
JD needs to pull back. They've got Rambo. It looks like they're
Back on
pulling
your
back now.
original caissons, boys.
So that ticket gap getting bigger, more in favor of Union. So Union's playing this well. Far Union left. You have a push up here. 17th going up again. Surprised they have a flag for 7 guys. But
Where do you see those guys at?
Union
Oh, on the
fight-
RD. Who are they with?
Oh, that was such a bad volley. I almost don't want to see. The
Yeah,
42nd and
17
30th.
Michigan is with HD. So perhaps HD is holding somewhere more secure where they don't necessarily need it. But they're getting chased out. Oh, they're getting chased out. That's a lot of rebels.
An initial volley though only killed 1. It was kind of sad. But anyways,
Good. They're pulling back.
12th VA pulling back as Union's charging them out on the stone wall here.
Ooh, now that was a big shot by Artie for Union. They just got 2-3 people from the DB over here in the corner. Major Senior Dad was playing music and got caught lacking by a cannonball.
I'm gonna jump over and stab him.
Sorry, an Artie shot.
FK fucking
But
Confederate.
nobody yelled at me for
that was
calling
my
it a cannonball.
kill.
Bounce, come on.
We got him on the run, boys.
Looks like Union's pretty spread out right now.
Yeah, they kind of pushed 12th VA out of that stone wall. Looks like they're falling back. I don't know if they're going to push back to the caissons or
Okay.
just holding here. We'll see. More CSA
It
shifting in the
doesn't
corn.
look like they're missing too many people. I'm sure they could just go straight for the caissons and retake. But even the 15th has pulled back a little bit. Oh, now they're moving up again.
Okay, you got 9th Corps, 1st Delaware shifting around left side. Yep. Yeah, they're actually
They
maybe
had
over
just
the
given
hay
up
bales.
on this middle section right here.
Yeah, Lucian's just holding up there right now.
That's a cannon to
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
Oh.
majority. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Oh,
That's what they're doing.
no.
Yep, the 42nd PA is pulling. Oh, they're waiting and hiding. 42nd PA now moving in.
Oh, we got another line.
They certainly have more people than the 15th, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, they're falling back.
Yep, Lucian down. I mean, taking that already has bought them a couple minutes of cover, and it looks like they're moving back to the caisson. JD moving up to the hay bales. It looks like 42nd PA did not chase through. TQB moving up by the side of the barn now. They could possibly push JD off the hay bales if they play aggressive enough.
It's funny watching the
HD.
guys get killed on top of the hay bales. Their body just flings off.
HD holding on the snake fence, where CSA was originally at the beginning of this round. Taking pot shots. Hopefully they're not shooting friendlies up on the hay bale. We got a mix of IB yelling at JD to fall back with the flag. Probably fair. They've only got 3 or 4 people here. TQB had one they wiped the flags. And probably got some form of advantage here.
Yep. Well, almost 20 minutes in the round. CSA's almost at taking losses. Union's been playing this round pretty well so far.
Especially with how defensive CSA has played, I'm surprised that they're holding such a ticket advantage, the Union. It looks like it's gone into a bit of a lull. Both teams playing distance, not trying to make any too crazy move. HL moving up on the road, been doing pop-up volleys around the bend.
15th kind of
Despite-
pushing up as well.
Despite CSA playing so defensively, I'm surprised that their ticket drop is
I-
as large as it is.
I would
I'm
agree.
curious to see who's dying.
We can't see anything from here.
I gotta keep an eye on some of these companies a little bit longer, so I can see who's taking the casualties.
Someone just say buck and ball sucks.
Flags on the left side of that hay bale.
So sad.
Well, I mean, at this distance, I would agree buck and ball is probably not the go-to unless you're up on the case
I
on
would
fighting for the
say
corner.
buck and ball is always the ideal option. Because you got
That's
more
fair.
pellets. Sure, it's not. There's a lot of drop off on farther distance, but I still think it's just the better option.
Oh, looks like one of the Union is crossing over the field. Philadelphia taking this chance to fire on them. Actively encouraging their men to fire on their flank now they're out in the open. Still far shots to be making though. Let's see if they hit anyone. It's HL moving across the field. Looks like they're going straight for the orchard.
Union is capping. I don't think intentional, or at least I don't think they mean to. Yeah, HG was, but they pulled off.
Yeah, it looks like they pulled off, yeah. Here they're recommitting to the hill.
12th
And-
GA pushing up the stone wall now.
Yeah, I was about to say they wasted no time taking Stonewall and Road, and honestly, I don't blame them. This is where those flanks matter.
Spread out here, you can see them in the open to our right. Spread out two-man
Looks like
spaces,
HL is
independent
pulling
fire.
back, or pulling up into the caissons.
Whew.
Possibly to
Whew.
fire back. Oh, that a ooh, man, that was a good arty
That
shot.
was a lot of blood. Holy crap.
That's a pool of blood right there. You don't see that every day. Who's on CSA already? Mattis. Oh, Mattis. That's why. That right there is why Mattis is known for his arty.
Union forced CSA down to taking losses.
Yep. There's a curious why two of the flags are right there on the forefront. It's a dangerous move for Union. Having the flag down in the front is easy shots. And it looks like they haven't figured out that a flag is down and it needs to be recovered. Oh, that's why they can't see the flag. It's covered in blood. It's completely red. If you look at the flag at the by the caissons where the 15's holding. Oh, never
you
mind.
got it.
Private Ray.
I almost saw it. But
Yeah, it was completely covered in blood. It appears the 15 thinks that's wine, not blood on the ground. One of the Union pulling back to the HL, pulling back to the corner of the road. Probably going to capitalize on flanking tickets as the CSA
Spring, I'm using you
first
as a
L are
marshal.
pulling back. Looks like Philadelphia hasn't got the, sorry, 9th Corps hasn't got the message.
I take a knee.
No, now they have volleyed and they are now pulling back. It could have been an opportunity for HL, but just a little too long. They may get one good volley down the road before they get back into their corners.
yeah, HL's pushing down the road now. I mean, we'll probably. This is really going to be a shootout for the rest of the match until CSA hits breaking.
I mean, they've almost evened the tickets.
Move back, boys.
CQB now charging in on the caissons. Looks like their plan is to shoot and fall back. We'll see how effective this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 dead on the Union side from that volley.
CQB
Oh,
took
another
out 4, so-
killer arty shot. Somebody needs to do something about that arty because they are tearing them apart on the caisson. I can see now why 42nd PA was so intent on staying near the arty. I think that might be their key to victory here. Lucian moving up, but it looks like another,
Biological warfare.
like 17th is pulling back
It's more mental warfare. That was horrible.
over to HD. HD and 17 Michigan might be planning something here for the left side.
Great shot from Lucian. Just dotted that officer up.
See if he gets some more shots here. Yep, CQB is actively aware of Lucian's position, and they got him.
Union going down to taking losses.
Yeah, there's another guy on there.
2 flags down for the Union, and they've got them up again. Really got to keep an eye on that, especially when Artie is pelting you as hard as they are. So where do you think the game's going to go from here? Because CSA has managed to close the gap on tickets, and I'd say it's anyone's game at this point. Union's pulling back.
Well, it's really weird because when I've seen a lot of at least a lot of the matches I watch, the beginning of the bar for a team does not go down that fast, and then when it gets to the middle of the bar, it starts going up down fast. So I think Union's still ahead by a little bit of tickets. Obviously, I don't know what 15th
Ooh.
Wisconsin's doing there.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's on the
noticed
cap,
half of
but
the Union pulled back, and the other half, the 15th, moved up, and they took a pretty heavy volley there.
I don't-
like down in the middle of the field. Hopefully, someone recovers that.
I don't like this cap. If that's the goal,
Mhm.
because Union's ahead by a little bit of tickets.
Corn, lumber.
Looks like the Union's moving into the corn now. Yeah, that was rough for the 15th. There's a flag out in the open now.
FSB is getting charged out by 12th VA on the Union right. And they're getting pushed back. But yeah, Union's kind of shifted to this left side right now. Looks like JD's pushing up right now.
Yep, FSB is down to just about 2 people. I'm running down. Oh, they're gone. Sophia was successful. Curious to see the move here. I mean, they've lost. Union has lost in what I'd say is an advantageous position, but they've kept the tickets even. There's still plenty of time left. First Lieutenant Templars recovering the flag out in the open.
JD just got completely slaughtered running up there. But to their left, you got HL moving up as well. I mean, Union Artillery just knocked down Gene.
Yep, HL on the far left, FSB pushing up the middle, along with JD.
I do not know why HL didn't charge there. 42nd and 30th were in the middle of their reload animations, and they held back and shot. I don't know if JD didn't
And
communicate
they're
that they got
falling back.
volleyed, but yeah, because 42nd, 30th just fell back right away once they got shot at. On the contrary, Colquitt's Brigade's going right in there.
And that right there is probably why they didn't charge in. I mean, from a downhill perspective in Apple Orchard, you might not know where all of CSA is. It's hard to see where CSA is right over that defilade. They could be by the barn, by the hay. They could be just over the hill. So I think that was a good. I think that was a good move for Union pulling back there and not charging in.
And I'm surprised that CSA is now ahead on tickets.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Not quite how I saw this game going. Curious to see who this is on. Tofier still holding the far corner, far from the action, but they are getting some shots on the snake fence. I don't know if it's bore any fruit though.
Snipe that asshole. I saw that shot. It's fucking beautiful.
Almost to that 15-minute mark, and I mean, this round is looking a little similar to last round, except the tickets are definitely closer.
Definitely closer, and again, I'm a little concerned that the Union might be a little too spread out. I mean, they're holding a center and left position. I guess it just matters what they decide to do with it. CSA has been playing defensively, shifting from strong cover to strong cover, or just holding back in general. And although in the beginning I thought that Union would secure a good ticket advantage, they've pulled it back. So they're doing something right.
They are indeed. I mean, they seem to be winning the shootout. Union's been a little... Oh, Union's been sending a group here and there up, and they just get completely slaughtered, so...
Right, and that's... I mean, you see that, you know, from my perspective, in a lot of weekend games, you see that the team goes for what should be considered a full team push, but the companies trickle in, and it's... Honestly, in a way, it's kind of amazing to realize like how much a 10-second window between company movement can change the tide of the battle. But you would think, I mean, and as people know, in the Grand Campaign, everyone uses Steam Chat. It's not a in-person runner organized game. You would think with that, operations would be a little bit more tight, a little more smooth. But every now and then you'll notice one group goes in by themselves, thinking that they have the entire team at their back, and they don't. Captain Krog going out by himself on the caissons to get a bit of a sight on the enemy. Now pulling his ninth corps going into the barn. First Delaware on the caisson.
What the heck is Ninth Corps doing?
Living their best life. I don't blame them. Get out of the sun for a little bit. You know it's hot out here today.
Right, don't want to get that sunburn.
Yeah, heat cat is not an option. Lucian moving up in the orchard. Teabagging, it appears. Sam crouching. Perhaps trying to goat out Mattis from the Arty.
He's zooming. He's got his binos up right now when he was spam crouching, so that's fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, Arty shooting down the hill at the corner of the corn. Oh, it looks like a big Union push.
Oh yeah, there they go.
Big Union push, yeah.
Are they gonna cap? Oh, by accident?
We'll see if the CSA on the other side of the map can get over here fast enough.
Oh,
First Delaware not reacting yet. 12 PA not reacting yet.
It looks like they plan to cap.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them. Getting an early cap here and putting pressure on Arty. If they can wipe Arty, get a cap here, and then put the ball into their court. You know, see what the CSA is gonna do.
CSA should charge right away.
We'll see. I mean, they've been playing very defensively.
Right.
They should charge right away. I mean, even if Union does take here, it's not like they have the advantageous position. Their best bet here is to pull back to Stonewall and Snake Fence and just play defensively uphill. But, you know, we'll see.
42nd, 30th, trying to flank around.
Don't panic. Hold your hit together.
Union
Yeah, there they go. They're starting to pull back.
Take aim. Go for stragglers. Get those out of line kills.
See, that was a good charge. That was a really good charge for Union. They all moved in together.
Move back to the left. Move back to the left.
back.
Union, 15th, staying in the orchard. There goes, who's that retreating? 30th Ohio, 42nd K, falling back again. I think with their numbers that they should possibly play a little more aggressively, but it looks like CQB came in and did the dirty work for them. And yeah, Union has moved to hold Stonewall and Snake Fence. And CQP is committing to the cap. Committing to the recap. 12 PA crossing the field on Union side. They are going to get some good shots here if they move up on Snake Fence. Sounds like they're going to target the flags.
Their flags are right in front of us, boys. Their flags are right in front of us.
Yeah, starting to take shots. Looks like they got one flag there.
Yep, two flags. This right here is why it's important to not underestimate the small groups. Like 12th BA has been playing off on the far side, far corner. But moves like this, you know, they're not running into a mass and dying, but they're playing strategically, taking a really good position to fire on the Union that's trying to hold here on the wall.
Whose flag is this?
And
I really like to see that.
Union's charging up here. HL's going in, 15th Wisconsin.
Maybe a little too late to stop this cap, if that's their intention. Yeah, just a little too slow, unless they're planning on capping again immediately.
Yeah, I mean, charge them, hit them the braking, and then cap.
Oh, that could be their move. Someone out there, I couldn't tell who, but it's fighting for the spaghetti. It looks like a good portion of Union is sitting back, though.
Interesting.
Well, a good portion. I think it's more like 10 to 12 people still on the line, trying to keep the flags up.
So CSA holding pretty well there. Union kind of getting
Ninth
beat
Corps moving in.
pretty bad.
Yeah, it looks like Union's gone. Yeah, just a couple of Union stragglers now. We're not able to push CSA into breaking. That's rough for Union. But they still have time. If they do a mass reform, fire at a distance, knock them into breaking, and then
Get this flag up. It is.
no hold bar, charge together for point, it
Come on,
could still
boys,
be an
flag
easy
up,
win
fire.
for Union.
Keep up the fire, boys.
Flag is up.
Thank you.
12th VA still getting free shots on the side of Union in the corn.
They're aiming that cannon right at us, too.
I mean, all these shots from 12th VA should be hit. I mean, they're just in a great spot.
See this, and again, I'm gonna fall back on this again, but with the way the map is built and the way CSA finds himself in a position to always have shots on the Union for the most part. I mean, looking at it, not if you were to not know who was attacking, who was defending, I would think Union's defending with the way this map is built. It always seems like they find themselves in the center, surrounded.
Sprint.
12th VA now pulling back. Definitely a CSA biased map, but definitely one that Union can win. So, CQB holding by the hay bales. Not sure if that was a Union shot or a CSA already shot, but it didn't find purchase on anyone, it seems.
Union starting.
That might have been a.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Union starting to hold on the road and a little further back. HL, FSB looks like they're going to the right side, where 12th they kind of looks like they're trying to push 12th VA off, which the 12th VA has fallen back.
Take aim.
Yeah, a little late if they wanted to push them. They've already fallen back. 15th holding the far left in the corn, separating the Union.
That looks beautiful.
Back down to the road, fellas.
CSA getting closer to that breaking.
And he killed now. And I mean,
Yeah, I'm really hoping Union can come together for this push.
and Union's very spread out.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Confederates are also very spread out, and I mean, Union could have an opportunity to just push up, but obviously they don't see what we're seeing. They don't see that CSA is as spread out as
Right.
is. They might kind of know it, but
Oh, to their disadvantage, CSA has high ground. They have their two biggest companies guarding the point. I mean, even in the last charge, we saw the 9th Corps, Delaware, and 12th VA didn't even bother to come in and support because it was just a quick hold by CSA. However, that could be CSA's downfall. If Union can bring themselves together and push, I think they could wipe CQB and 42nd PA before the remnants of the CSA can come in and support. But it looks like CSA is pulling back to conserve tickets, try and buy as much time as they can before they go into that breaking. Except for 9th Corps. 9th Corps still in the case on fighting the good fight.
see, HGJD still up front. Union on the backside. HL looks like they're starting to push up, so maybe they're starting to group up to kind of make a push for point. Point's naturally decaying right now.
And it could pop up at any minute.
The Midwest Brigade hopping up and over. JD is as well. Looks like Union's going to make a break for the point.
Yep, this is it.
Union's maybe
We got one team on the far left. Looks like IB plans to come in from the left side, possibly to flank 42nd PA before they. Oh, good volley by 42nd PA. It looks like they got about 2 or 3.
42nd and 30th, they got to go in though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're in breaking. This is it. Could be a Union win. Could be a very easy Union win.
42nd, 30th charging the few guys from 15th. Looks like they're now turning in. 12th VA collapsing from the far side. I mean, we'll see what happens, but...
I mean, it looks like they've got a solid hold, but yeah, they're going to get flanked from 2 sides here. 42nd PA coming in from the left. I think it's too late.
It's going to be close.
First Delaware coming in the middle. Oh, I don't know. It's starting to look like it's more CSA than Union.
It's
it's a
so
struggle. It's a struggle.
close.
It's going back and forth.
42nd, 30th are wiped. 12th VA's Colquitt's now coming in.
Yeah. Oh, don't go in. Don't go in now, Union. Save your tickets for another charge.
Union might hit final push with these, assuming flags still spawn guys in.
They need to pull back. They need to pull back and save their tickets before they get pushed. They can reform. They have time. That was so close.
Wow.
CSA moving up to the stone wall to take a more aggressive push to prevent another
These
charge.
Midwest Brigade guys, you gotta move. You can't. Okay, HD guys are now pushing up on the stone
Oh,
wall.
no.
They're trying to save a flag, but
This is the wrong move. They're gonna go into final push. They need to pull
yep,
back.
there
Yeah.
it was.
There it is.
Someone from HD or one of the HL guys that went up there
Now
died.
they might get pushed into a trickle here, and it's gonna cost them. It'd be a really big move if Union can take this back, but I believe in them.
I don't know. It's gonna be close. Union's
I'm
kinda forming
floating
up.
over Union right now, and it sounds like their morale has not been broken, even though their numbers have.
Looks like they're trying to flank around the far. Some going left side. 15th Wisconsin HL. JD is kind of slamming into a stone wall right now. A lot of Union disorganization on this right side, but a good chunk of them going on the left.
Well, if a good chunk can, I think one chunk is to distract, the other chunk is to go around and cap behind them, or a flank. It looks like they're gonna go in for the flank.
Yeah, Lucian's
Try and
drawing line
break them off
markers
stone
on
wall.
the ground. Lucian dying there.
Yeah, they saw it coming. They're countering. There is still a Union group. HL. It looks like they're going far around.
1
If
minute left on
Union
the
can do
clock.
enough damage on the stone wall, this other group, HL, might be able to wipe already and take point.
I don't think it was so. CSA is in full force still.
Yeah, no, and CQB already sees HL. CQB is going in for the flank on HL. Yeah, no, I believe this could be a wrap at 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean CSA is gonna hit last stand, but they're not. Union's not gonna have enough time.
I'm not sure if CSA is going to hit last stand.
That could be true too. But yeah, I mean, do you got any thoughts as we're wrapping up the round here? Yeah, with the CSA victory.
CSA played smart. I think Union was a little too spread out. It was obvious that Union played one side of the map throughout the game, which was what I believe they should do in the beginning, but it's still a little spread out. They had the ticket advantage for a good minute. I think what really changed it around for CSA is the caissons just were not a viable position. Corn Stonewall was not a viable position because CSA already was just hammering them. I think if they could have stayed, I think if they'd gone left, Stonewall Corn at the beginning and taken Orchard Corner, and they're already, could have been a different game. CSA, they played it the way they should have.
Yeah, Union had a great start. I don't know how the ticket change happened in the middle of the round. We'll obviously see that here, but CSA played that well. I thought Union had a great start. I think the biggest thing in the middle of that round, Union, like, just individual groups would go up and die on their own, and that kind of closed that ticket gap.
Yeah, there was a couple small company aggressive pushes on Haybell. That were a little questionable. I think what really did it for CSA was their small companies on the far left really using the flanks for free tickets. The 42nd PA and CQB, they kind of held back in the orc. They didn't do too much.
Yeah.
Until they needed to.
And with that all being said, we'll see you in the postgame interview. Hello, everyone. Here we are with the postgame interview for the grand campaign today. So essentially what happened today is the campaigns, they switched sides. So the USA campaign was playing CSA both rounds, and the CSA campaign was playing USA both rounds. And we had Progress Mill and Piper Farm, which the USA side CSA campaign won there. And then Piper Farm, CSA won the USA campaign, winning that round. So it was two good matches. We had technical difficulties, so we missed the first 15 minutes of the first round, but we got the ending, and I think that is the important part. But anyways, we have leaders here from both sides to talk about strategy and more. So let's go through and introduce everyone. So The USA campaign, who's playing CSA both sides. We got Jam.
Howdy.
We got Doug.
Hello guys, CQB Colonel Doug.
We got Koal.
Good day, 12th VA Captain Qual.
And then we have Uncle Dragon.
Hey, hello boys. Uncle Dragon, First Sergeant, 28 Massachusetts.
And then for our CSA campaign side, who's playing USA both rounds, we got Lucian.
Yes, IB, 15 Wisconsin Lieutenant Colonel Lucian.
And we got TJ.
Hey there, Hampton's Legion D Company Captain TJ.
And then co-commentating with myself today, we had Bones.
Hey, again, 15 Wisconsin for current Bones. Glad to co-comment on today's video.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank you all for coming here. So let's get right into it. The first round, Pry Grist Mill. USA was attacking first, so I guess we'll start with you guys who are on USA. What was your strategy going into the round, and how did you guys react to the ever-changing battlefield?
I guess I'll start. Initially, we thought, let's do the exact same strategy that we did last week, because ticket-wise, it was working out, and it worked out for us today as well. CQB and 42nd PA were posted on the right-hand side for CSA side, with 12th in the middle, 1st Delaware, and 9 on the left-hand side. We did not quite expect that for initial attack on the left-hand side. Good attack, but we repelled it good. Then the battle just went on. I thought, yeah, we're doing good on tickets, but I think we lacked a little bit on actually moving onto point, and that's why the USA was able to capture it, unfortunately for us.
Anyone else from the defending side have any input?
Yeah, CQB was at the beginning of the game at the right side. We expected to push at the mill. I walk around the mill, look through my binoculars, and I just see all flags just sprinting to the left side, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So CQB eventually shifted over to the left side, and when they crossed, they were not able to get further up than from the riverbed, so we were standing up the hill just bucking-balling them down and basically repelling that first charge very well. What cost us the game is that we, in the end, when it matters to win the melee fight, lost the melee fight. When we fell to breaking, even though we had them in final push, but we just lost the game in the last 5 minutes.
We did end up with 200 more kills, but as Doug said, it all comes down to that last melee. Always. Same time this week, same time last week.
Cool.
We got exactly 25 kills more compared to last week.
At least we're getting better.
Did you guys play this last week?
Come again? What was that?
Oh yeah, did you guys play this this map last week?
Yep, the exact same setup.
That's fascinating.
Exact same plan.
So yeah, we'll go to the opposite side. Lucian, TJ, you guys were attacking on Progress Mill. So what was your strategy going into the round, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Well, your map, TJ. So.
Yeah, I think that was HL's token, and the first thing that I said in the coordination was, okay, let's definitely not go mill left-hand side to the mill immediately. Like the idea was to bind them at point to drag them out from uphill, right? Have them come down by threatening to cap at the point at any second, which was the Cavs' job, and we tried at first, but then we got the input that nothing was on the far right. So that's where the attempt to force a crossing on the right-hand side came from. And it worked well for 1 or 2 minutes where we did reasonably well on tickets, but we failed to outshoot them, and I really had wished I had pulled everything back earlier than that. But we made it out somewhat unscathed, far more unscathed than I had thought of crossing the rivers, which is a pain in the ass after the last update, where you have to really step through it. So that went better than expected and worse than hoped. But after that, we focused more on the center. We actually implemented what we tried up first. We managed to pull more equal on tickets and save ourselves a little bit of a buffer for when we eventually went into the left-hand side, because there was again nothing there as we had focused on the center. That's where that mill push came from. And as CSA came ever closer to breaking, they seemed to be pulling more towards the center, so we eventually were able to secure that far left-hand side, make that push, HL charged them into breaking, and everybody else immediately went for cap, which of course then worked out in our favor.
Lucian, anything to add to that?
I mean, I think the attacks at the start were a bit poorly coordinated. I think a lot of things in that first round were quite poorly coordinated, but I think when it comes to something like Mill, what's really crucial is for the Union to be with all their men on point at the end when CSA is breaking, and Union was able to get all their men on point with pistols, so CSA had to push the Union to get them off, and of course, CSA having to charge 16 pistols plus the rest of the Union team is never really going to end well. And the exact same thing actually happened last week, just a bit differently. I think it really just comes down to who actually controls the point when you CSA it's breaking. Yeah. Otherwise, tickets, I would say they don't really matter when it comes to the first map.
Yeah, that's fair. Bones, you had any questions for either side for the first round?
Well, I mean, Union's already explained why they went far right in the beginning, where I would have expected far left, just like the CSA was saying. But I got a question for the second half of the game after CSA had repelled the Union on the right side, facing CSA spawn far right, and then Union pushed center to far left. Why the some of the smaller CSA companies like Ninth Corps, 12PA, and First Delaware were still holding on the far left, firing across the river? I looked on the other side, and I did see like a small group of FSB, but that was really all you guys were firing at. I figured your stock would have been more helpful in keeping Union off of that far left side by the mill. I'm just curious why you guys kept your flags and your officers over there.
That was kind of a lack of communication on 42nd side, I think. When they crossed the river, they should have called it out. But all we heard was they took the mill. And yeah, there's nothing much you can do at that particular moment. So lack of communication was the whole idea. And I personally thought I had a little bit more in front of me than just one unit. So yeah, that's why we stayed where we were instead of going towards that right-hand side to reinforce.
In my case, I was just trying to keep my men firing either at the doorways in the mill, because there were guys poking out of them and they're easy kills.
Yeah, after a while, a good portion of it did move into the building.
Yeah, or eventually I think we did see, or I was at least told, that some people moving left around the bottom of it, and I moved back to conserve tickets. Not engage too closely and potentially what would be cavalry.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so when... Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, when that push on the left side was happening to Ninth Corps, I pulled CQB away from the left center side onto point, because I thought the breaking soon, we needed a unit on point. And then I look to the right side and I see cavalry and 2 regiments just charging at me, and I'm just like, okay, everybody needs to get here now. Ninth Corps was busy on the left, 42nd was somewhere, but not close to point. I believe they got charged by HL. So it was us bucking-balling away 1 regiment, and then the cavalry ran into us. We had no chance of holding that. Our flag got knocked out. If we would have had more people standing on point there as a line, we would have maybe been able to repel it. But I don't think it would have worked out in that scenario with that charge the Union made around the mill. also down there in the riverbed, what they did there, around the little stone thing, and just, I mean, they hit the flank, right? But we saw them, so we reacted. But half of us were not loaded because we were shooting them while they were crossing. But we still had a lot of buck and ball, and I saw the people dropping, and I just see the people with the white gloves coming up, and I'm just like, oh fuck, this is not going to work out.
Yeah, I think, and my second and also last question, although it can't be answered because 42nd PA is not here, I don't believe, is why 42nd PA was holding so far back from point at the end. I did see 42nd PA start to move in to try and protect point when you guys hit breaking, but HL, flawless move on your part to cut 42nd PA off before they could get to the point, so everybody else could cap. That right there, I think, is what won the game. Definitely at the end, locked it in, is the fact that Union was so close to the point and ready to cap, whereas 42nd PA was very far back and CQB was somewhere in the middle. I think you guys cutting off 42nd PA was a good move. I wish I could ask them why they held so far back. I'm perhaps serving tickets, but at some point you have to just admit that you're going to go into breaking, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So, let's move on to round number 2 now. So, you all were on the same sides. So, we'll start with the attacking side. So, what was your strategy going into the Piper Farm, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Well, there was a slight problem which you might see on the recording at the end, which was that normally, in Grand Campaign there's a token holder that leads a battle for their team. In the second round, the token holder decided to not lead at all, so the CSA was in a bit of a sticky position at the end of the game. It went very well at the start and was going very well, I think, for most of the round up until the end, when most regiments were disagreeing on what to actually do, and we were missing the token holder to actually make a decision. So it came down to a lot of arguing at the end, which wasted a lot of time, I think, and gave the CSA the opportunity to actually move and mirror the Union team at the end, which by when the guy who was supposed to lead, when he finally said all right to do something, it was just too late. The CSA was waiting behind the hill, waiting for the Union to push up.
TJ, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, initially the plan was absolutely nothing fancy for Piper Farm, right? Check out, because that's how it went last week. Last week we defended Piper Farm. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
I'm
2 weeks ago.
not quite sure. 2 weeks ago, thank you. We defended it, and we defended it mostly by pushing everybody and their mothers with buck and ball onto the stone wall and gunning the Union down as they try to come in, right? And that's why we said, okay, let's not do that. Let's instead push more to the right, get on the snake fence in the center, maybe push up to the caissons and secure the road down on the far right, which is pretty much what happened the first 20 minutes, maybe up to 30 minutes. And yeah, then everything fell a bit apart about communication issues. We came pretty close to cap, but these damned 5 seconds were lacking, and that might have as well have been the ones that went into discussing in Steam chat. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah, at least from a spectator view, it kind of seemed like Union was a bit confused because you guys were doing great in the first half, but then kind of towards the end of the round, it's like a group, when you guys were still on the caissons anyways, like one group would go up and charge the hay bales by yourselves, and it's just like, why did they do that by their own? They just got slaughtered right away. So anyways, let's shift to the defending side. Yeah,
if I may add to that, I think again that's where you can kind of see the token issue with if you saw units on the map pushing up by themselves, that was mainly it, because there was no person or one unit saying, okay, we need to do this now, we need to do that now, which you can see kind of the difference between the CSA and the Union team is on the CSA team, there was a guy constantly telling them what to do and when to do it, and the Union because of that certain person not actually wanting to lead their token. You can kind of see the difference in that.
Right. So we'll go to the defending side. CSA guys, what was your strategy to defend the Piper Farm, and how did you react to the ever-changing battlefield?
Well, I may just go ahead if that's okay. So basically, what Lewis, First Lieutenant Lewis 42nd P, wanted us to do is holding CQB and 42nd into the orchard behind the hill, having 12th VA on the stone wall, and Delaware 9th Corps being somewhere in between, rotating. At the beginning of the game, when we saw people shifting towards the road, CQB immediately moved also to the road, and together with 12th VA, we were able to hold it for a little bit until the entire Union team shot off, and we had to basically pull back. At that point, we started to get into a ticket deficit, so we pulled back, tried to consolidate ourselves, tried to rally. CQB basically started shifting left and right, engaging them wherever we could without taking many casualties. 12th VA was able to move up and down on the stone wall, just taking shots at them, eventually getting the tickets a little bit closer because they were at some point really, really bad. I then rotated us over to the stone wall. 42nd was getting pushed from time to time in the orchard a little bit. So they were always asking a little bit for help, so we went over there to help them, basically. And then we were chilling on the Hables for quite some time. We had 2 regiments in front of us, basically. Then we got charged up by IB once, and Lucian headshot at me because I misaimed my shot. Yeah. After that, we basically said we should consolidate more and maybe stop engaging them at all. When the Union started to do some interesting moving in the open field, so we decided to keep engaging them and keep shooting them, which eventually led to us having a ticket advantage after recapping the point. I have a little question there, because as we were about to recap the point, the Union was charging up the hill while we were still recapping. I did not understand that charge at all. I was like, why aren't they holding back?
Like I said, Doug, there was a lot of arguing on the fact that the CSA disagreed on what, or the Union team, the CSA on Grand Campaign, disagreed on what to actually do. So there was a lot of arguing in Steam chat on what to actually do, because the guy who was supposed to lead the token did not lead his token and left the whole team in the blind.
Well, in that case, of course we held that because they went uphill into our line while we were standing there. And then it basically was a little bit of a phony war. 12A moved up on the snake fence to their side, shot them in the flank a little bit, then pulled back. And we had the ticket lead from that moment on, and we had it for the rest of the game. And then when we fell to breaking, CQB was on point already. We got charged off, but then we had enough people on point coming in from the sides, 42nd from the right side, beautiful move. And then the rest of our team from the left, that was perfectly coordinated. We were able to spawn back in. We got up there, we went to the stone wall, we got you into a final push, and then we held the stone wall until some of you broke out on the far left or right side. So we had to countercharge you guys there. We were able to hold that. We consolidated, and then everyone stayed on point, and the CQB basically just moved down the hill to prevent any stragglers moving up or any unit getting up in the last seconds. That's basically it from the defenders' side, I think.
Anyone else from the defenders have any thoughts for round 2?
Yeah, as the initial plan was drawn on Strat Sketch, I think it was a little bit awkward at first for 9 and Delaware because we didn't really have anything to basically do. So it was that's why you saw us shifting left, shifting right all the time. I took a little bit more upon myself to have a free roll and see if I could find any flanking openings or whatever to be useful. In 9th Corps is not bringing the big numbers like CQB or 42nd PA, but yeah, when you have such a small unit, you need to be effective with anything you do. So that's why we moved from point to point Even playing a little bit with our safety on the far right when the Union pushed us there, and I thought I had the time to pull off one more volley, and we could. And that initial or that final charge, when Union almost captured the point, I couldn't see 42nd moving in as well, but I think that sandwich that we gave them was very crucial in taking the momentum back from Union capturing the point, and from there on out for the Union it was basically impossible to take it back.
Yeah, I think after the initial push off from point where the Union very nearly capped, they lost most of their flags. I think maybe 2, maybe 3, but I believe it was 12th VA and CQB that made sure that they wouldn't get them back until it was like 40 seconds left, and at that point it didn't particularly matter. No
Yeah, we
bayonets
finally
and
got
go,
to
we
do
get
our
up the-
brigade at the end qual.
Yeah, well, our plan finally worked of brigading slightly, and no bayonets and go would have been able to charge up that hill, get over that stone wall, and break that line. No way in hell.
Jam, is there anything you wanted to add?
Nope. I believe everything that needed to be said has been said.
Sounds good. So, Bones, do you have any questions for round 2?
Well, the questions that I would have kind of already been answered by the lack of token holder lead for the Union. But the main thing that confused me right there at the end was after the first charge after CSA had hit braking to take the point, why the tragedy of people still pilfering in, causing you guys to get pushed into final push when you had, I think it was like 6 to 8 minutes left. I think if everyone had just respawned and reformed and gone in for another solid push before you got put into final push, that maybe you could have taken point.
People were told to not push up, so I guess someone didn't listen.
Yeah, I think it was possibly a desperate like try and flag recover, but by the time, I mean, me and Eagle saw it happen. By the time that they'd pushed into corn and try and get their flags back, CSA was already on the stone all ready to meet them. So that was just rough.
It was a Rambo. It was a Union Rambo that ran to the cornfield. I saw him and I shot him with the revolver. It was stupid because there was no one else. We entirely wiped the team. It was like really, I don't know how many tickets there was, but it was very close. So
I
think it was
this one guy.
Did see quite a few guys.
Yeah, it was not just one guy. There were multiple guys running towards that stone wall when we occupied it.
One of them was an officer, and he got point blanked.
There was about 6 or 8 people in the corn moving up. And
I
then
just saw the people on the right side, so that was just this one guy I shot and saw. So
for
CSA,
for CQB and 42nd specifically, when Union would push up on the hay bales, I'm curious why you guys didn't try and like repel them harder. I mean, in the end, obviously it worked out in your favor, but I feel like there was a lot of small units up on the hay bales that you guys could have repelled pretty easily. Specifically, JD coming in on their own, and then 15th also falling in.
So, yeah. Anyone got any more thoughts for today's event before we wrap it up?
I think I can answer that question that was asked. We were at that particular point playing it a little bit safe on the tickets because we were behind. And you know how costly it is to actually get in that melee and lose a lot of guys. So it was probably more the caution than anything else that they didn't take, or they didn't make a big push to wipe the Union off the hay bills.
I will say as my last comment that CSA, your small companies, I think, are what won you the game.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
The way you
Every
guys
trophy and
responded on
moving
the
up
far
behind
left
them was
side
great.
was key.
It was always what makes Knife Corps, Delaware, and Warfare really good is they will always find the spot to just annoy the enemy. You can always see flags going down, officers going down, and that gives CQB and 42nd always time to move up and give them big volleys or consolidate the line, whatever we have to do. It's a very good team play we have.
I didn't see it much in the first round, but on the second round where CSA had so many positions to fire on the Union, because Union has basically two options, caissons or core and stonewall. You guys have so many positions where you can fire on them, and you guys utilize those, so good on you.
I make it a rule to volley as little as possible. I volleyed once in that second round, and it was when the Union were popping out and volleying down the road. The Enfield rifle's accurate to 400 yards. No point wasting your guys' time with them aiming and not knowing really what they're shooting at. Just let them take their time, pick their targets, hit their shots.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I believe the Union lost the game when they did this charge up after we recapped.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was, again, totally not understandable for me why you would charge into a line standing on a hill like that. But again, poor team communication, that can, of course.
Well, I mean, we were supposed to be charging a full 4 minutes before, but it seemed the communication on that broke down, and then the whole Steam command was talking for straight 3 minutes about charging. And I was trying to say that it was probably too late and you guys would probably all be waiting for us. But alas, there we were.
So I don't get to lead very often, but I'm curious if Union, if someone who's the token holder fails to communicate, do you guys have a backup?
Well, I mean, normally the token holder would appoint someone else, but the token holder at the stretch gets didn't say anything about that.
That sounds like fun.
Right, CJ?
I was zoned out for most of the discussion that we have had at the end. But in the end, even if you have these kind of communicative issues, you're still fighting a battle. And even agreeing to have the full team send the worst plan you have is better than having a good plan but only half the team executing it. So in the end, yeah, you might blame the token holder, but if you lose the battle, you lose it as a team. You always lose it as a team, period.
Indeed, indeed. Well, any more questions, Bones, or comments?
No.
Cool.
Both good games by both teams.
Cool, cool.
But as we saw, it can be a couple seconds could be the difference.
Is very, very true indeed. But anyways, anyone got any more quick comments before we call it for a night?
GG.
GG for the
Yep.
GG.
Cool, cool. Well, I'd like to thank the Grand Campaign for letting me record their event today. If you'd like to join any of their regiments or check out anything more from the leaders in this post-game interview, stuff for that will be in the description. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe for more. If you want to check out and support the channel more, please look in the description for our Patreon where you get live streams of all our broadcasts, advertise our regiment, and our videos, and get raw gameplay footage with no commentary and UI. But you can also join our Discord and merch there as well. But that's pretty much all of it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your night.